Hello guys, and welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. My name is James, and today we're going to go ahead and take a look at 4 free agents I think Reading should pursue during this summer transfer window. Now, it's finally here, the summer where Reading can finally make signings once again. Rob Cohig has recently purchased Reading Football Club, and Reading are no longer under a transfer embargo, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at the free agent market to see where I think Reading would be wisely to go ahead and dip into to sign some of these players. Now, obviously, this is just based off me. I'm sure Reading scouts aren't actually watching this, but this is just a personal preference of who I think Reading should go ahead and try and pursue during this off-season. I've picked out 4 names, 2 strikers, 1 central midfielder, and a left-back that I think Reading should go ahead and look at during this off-season. Now, priority number 1 for Reading should be a striker for this off-season, and the player that I've got down as the first name on the list is Ricky-Jade Jones. Now, I think Ricky-Jade Jones from Peterborough is someone that Reading should pursue with all their might this off-season. I think maybe this might be the most unrealistic signing, if I'm being completely honest, as look, if we're being honest, Reading and Peterborough aren't massively far apart in terms of their stature over the last couple of years. Very similar league positions for both sides, and very similar in terms of where their ability has been. Obviously, Peterborough had a pretty poor season last year compared to the Royals. Obviously, Peterborough languishing down in the bottom half of the table, and the Royals pushing for playoffs all the way up until the final day of the season. But for me, Ricky-Jade Jones is someone Reading should look at in this off-season. 11 goals and 3 assists across 46 games this year. 18 goals, though, in all competitions for Jones. Now, look, for me, he's not an overly prolific player, but what does Ricky-Jade Jones possess massively? And that's pace. That's something Reading have lacked massively over the last couple of seasons, is somebody that has a little bit of pace in the side. I feel like last season, when you take a look at Reading's wingers, you take a look at Kelvin Ehibachiman, you take a look at Chem Campbell, Mamadi Kamara, what do they all have in common? They're all a little bit slow. None of them have got prolific pace, and that's something Ricky-Jade Jones possesses. Now, he can play as a striker, and he can play as a left winger as well. Something I have got down is that he's a massive threat on the counter-attack, and he's direct. He can run at defenders, and that's something that Reading have missed over the last couple of years. He's played quite a few games at left wing, but predominantly is a striker, so he is an option to play on the wings as well. And that's something where Reading are lacking at the moment in terms of their ability on the pitch is any good wingers. Now, look, when you take a look at wingers last season, like we said, Kamara, Ehibachiman, Campbell, you're not looking at the best wingers in the league. If I'm honest, I'd probably rank Reading's wingers last season in the bottom half of the table compared to where our position was in the top half of the table. So for me, Ricky-Jade Jones is a striker Reading should definitely look at and try and pick up on a free transfer from Peterborough United. In terms of the next player, we'll continue for the strikers, and we'll go ahead and take a look at this next player. And for me, it's Cassini Yeni from Portsmouth. Look, for me, Yeni fell out of favour a little bit last season at Pompey. I think he ended up playing 14 games with no goals or assists, but just 4 starts in that time. But when you take a look at Yeni's last season in League One, he very much had a prolific season. 9 goals in 26 games with just 7 starts coming for Yeni. He actually has a 0.95 goals per 90. And is someone that Reading should definitely pursue. He's an Australian international with 6 goals in 11 appearances for the Aussies. And look, I think, look, when you take a look specifically at that 0.95 goals across per 90 minutes, Yeni's someone Reading should definitely look at. Now, the injury record with Yeni is a little bit sketchy. He's someone that's been out a little bit injured for Portsmouth this season. I think he missed a bit of time as well last year. But for me, Yeni maybe comes in as a backup. He's not someone that's going to be your out-and-out starter. And for me, I think it's a low risk, high payoff reward for Reading. Look, for me, 52% shots on target as well last season. Yeni's someone who's only 26 years old as well, someone that can still vastly improve. He's experienced as well, a lot of games for Portsmouth, a lot of games as well in the A-League. And yeah, like I've said multiple times, someone Reading should definitely take the risk with. Look, doesn't have to be the out-and-out number 9 that starts week in, week out. But as an option off the bench or as an option as to start, Yeni's someone that once he's had a few games under his belt can definitely be a good goal scorer for the Royals. Now, the next player we're going to take a look at also comes from Portsmouth, and it's a left-back. It's Cohen Bramall is the player that we're going to take a look at next. He's a very attacking option for Reading. And for me, there's a little bit of caveat with this signing. Now, Jerel Dorset is someone that's really struggled in terms of his injury record for the Royals. And personally, I would set him for release. I think there's an ability and there is a player there in Dorset. But for me, I think he shouldn't be re-signed. But this player should be signed for Reading, Cohen Bramall, if Jerel Dorset is signed. Now, you kind of have your yin to your yang here, as Cohen Bramall's a very attacking option, and Jerel Dorset is a very defensive option. Now, I think if you sign Cohen Bramall, he's somebody that can play against these bottom half of the table sides, and even maybe these top half of the table sides, depending on the ability. He's not great defensively, but going forward is fantastic. 201 games spread across the EFL in League One, League Two, and the Championship. Last season, played for both Portsmouth and Rotherham, with 31 games split across the two sides. Someone that really struggled for starts at Pompey last year, and I think he only played around 4 minutes or so in the last 5 games of the season. But for me, is a very good crosser of the ball and someone that is a massive attacking threat. Even if you do play Jerel Dorset at left back, you've still got the option of playing him at left wing as well. Someone that can play in that left midfielder position. So even if you are going to play a defensive option in Dorset, Bramall can still fill in and play a little bit further up the pitch. Look, for me, a lot of experience on his head, a lot of ability, someone that's been there and done that as well. He's been in the playoffs multiple times, whether it's with Tranmere or with other clubs like Colchester. I think Cohen Bramall is someone that is someone Reading should definitely pursue this off-season. Now, the final player we're going to take a look at is a central midfielder, and it's Liam Fraser from Crawley Town, a Canadian international that primarily plays in the defensive midfielder position. He made 16 appearances for Crawley last year in the second half of the season after joining from the MLS. He actually had an average rating of a 7.09 across that second half of the season and was one of the stronger midfielders throughout the second half of last year. Now, his standout game in particular came against Rotherham, and I just want to read out some of the statistics that Liam Fraser had from that game. An 8.4 rating with 46 passes completed, 2 chances created, 4 out of 4 tackles won, and 6 out of 8 ground duels won as well. That came in a 4-0 win away at the New York Stadium. Now, for me, Fraser is somebody Reading should look at because not every single player is going to be a starter. We said that with Yengi, we've said it with Bramall. Ricky-Jade Jones, for me, would be a starter. But for me, Liam Fraser doesn't have to be that first name on the team sheet. He's someone that can come in as a backup signing. For me, look, Reading aren't always going to hold on to this trio of midfielders that we currently have with Charlie Savage, Lewis Wing, Harvey Nibbs, Ben Elliott, potentially Michael Craig. Not everybody is going to start. And for me, I feel like we're going to lose one of them players, whether it's interest coming from the Championship with Charlie Savage. I think Ben Elliott could attract interest very quickly if he didn't have this injury record that he's had for the second half of the season. Lewis Wing's always going to have suitors as well, especially being one of the best midfielders in the league. Harvey Nibbs has had Derby sniffing around him for the last 6 months or so. So look, I expect one of these midfielders to go in the off-season, and I think Fraser could be an option that Reading bring in as that defensive head that then frees up Lewis Wing to go forward a little bit. We saw Tom Carroll come in as well in January. Obviously, I don't expect him to get another contract, but he was a defensive-minded player, which then would allow Lewis Wing to go further forward, and I think this one would be an upgrade. I think Liam Fraser would be a massive upgrade on Tom Carroll, and someone that Reading should definitely look at. Like we said, he's experienced, he's with the Canadian national team, massively experienced in the MLS as well, even played in Belgium, and obviously the last half of last year over here in the 3rd tier of England. And for me, no, I think it's a very decent option. And again, a very low risk, high reward option for Reading. That's going to be it for this video today, guys. Don't forget to tell me in the comment section who you think Reading should go ahead and look at in that free agent market. I think Paul D. O'Connell is someone that Reading, someone that people have been talking about. He is a Stephen Hunt player that he obviously is his agent, and I don't know if I butchered the name or not, so I might have got that wrong, but the Lincoln City centre-back is someone that a lot of people have been talking about as a potential signing for Reading in this off-season. But look, tell me who you guys think Reading should go ahead and try and pursue during this summer. That's going to be it for this one today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. My name's been James, and we'll see you all again very soon. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.